Hi, welcome to Tasty Treats 2020. We're doing house sampler blocks. So we're actually doing, for the Tasty Treats for the year, we're doing 20 different patterns. This time we're working on the house sampler blocks, and there's 20 different blocks. So we're doing a block a day for 20 days. There's more information on the website on GourmetQuilter.com. But we've been working our way through some of these blocks, so we're going to be doing all of them. And they're going to be, all the little blocks are different, set inside a frame which becomes the walls of the house, and we're going to be doing some roofs, which will be later. So we've already done these blocks over here. So we've done 9 blocks, so this time we're on to block 10. So it's kind of exciting, which is the halfway mark. So this is what we're doing this time. It looks a bit like a maple leaf. And again, we're using some half square triangles that we've done that technique before. So I'll just quickly run through how the block goes together. So if you're doing the program, you'll have a pattern that looks a lot like this, and it tells you how much to cut and what sizes and how to put everything together, but I'll just run through how it's actually done. So on the back of some of our background squares, we need to mark a diagonal line that we can stitch on to get our half square triangles. I'm doing another line ½ inch away so I can cut between them just to save those other halves that we don't need at the moment. So I've got mine all ready. I've drawn my lines on my 4 backgrounds. I've paired them up with the colour, and I'm just going to go ahead and stitch along both of those lines, and I can chain piece those and trim them apart and press them. So I've gone ahead and sewn my diagonals, trimmed off the corners that we don't need, and now I'm just pressing them. I'm pressing them into the darker colour. And now I need to lay out my block so that I sew all the pieces together in the right order, because when we're trying to make it look a little bit like something, and it's a little bit like a maple leaf, this design, then we want it to look like it should look. I've got to turn the patches around the right way. Always a bit of a challenge for me. And these coloured squares go in there. So that's going to end up looking like this block up here, so that it looks a little bit, like I said, like a maple leaf, and easy to do with the half square triangles, and amazing what you can do with just triangles and squares. So now I'm going to join those together. It's another 9 patch block, so I can join my 3 rows of 3 squares and then join the 3 rows together into the block. So I've joined my 3 little rows, and I'll just press them. Because we've got triangles at top and bottom, they may want to resist a little bit, so you just need to encourage the pressing. I'm pressing the rows so that the seams all go one way, and on the middle row I'm going to press them so that the seams all go the other way. So if I turn that round and do this, so that when they meet, when we join these little rows together, so the seams are going that way, and then the seams on here are going that way, and so these ones again need to be going that way. So sometimes with these little joins, they just want to resist the pressing, but they can be encouraged just gently to go the direction that you want them to go. So I've got those 3 rows ready, and we've still got everything facing the right way, still going to look a little bit like a maple leaf, so I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to go and sew those together, making sure those seams nestle nicely. So I've got my rows joined together into the little block, and now I'm just going to press those seams all one way. Same thing, just might need to encourage a couple of them, but they get the hang of it. And there's the block, and now I need to put the frame around it, which will become my house walls. So I've got my pieces here all ready to go. Join the sides on first, and then the top and the bottom, and I'll come back and show it to you when it's all finished. Just sewing the last of the 4 sides on to the block. This is a good feeling, possibly an extra good feeling on this one because we are now halfway through the blocks. This is block number 10 out of 20. And so there is the block, a little bit like a maple leaf, and looks quite a lot like the other block that I had already made up there, different colour framework. So that was it, that was block 10 out of the 20 for the Tasty Treats house sampler blocks, and thank you, we'll see you again with block 11.